Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this City Council meeting, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency Financing Authority regular meeting agenda to order today, April 7th, 2015. I have 6:36 p.m. I'd like to note that we are all present, and if you can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call up Pastor Ricardo Leal, CEDES, for the invocation.
Buenas tardes. I'll pedir que... Sure? ¿Soy? Check. Oh, ¿soy?
Should we not move that to the other? I think it's better if we move it.
Buenas tardes. Voy a invitar a que guardemos unos minutos de silencio y antes de orar, antes de poner en manos de Dios esta reunión, quisiera leer un pasaje que se encuentra en Proverbios capítulo 11, versículo 24. Dice así: sin dirección, la nación fracasa, pero la victoria está en escuchar el consejo de Dios. Lo voy a leer en inglés para los que no entienden bien el español. Dice: for lack of guidance, the nation falls, but victory is won hearing God's advice. Te voy a invitar a que inclinemos nuestro rostro y oremos. Dios, te damos gracias, porque sabemos, Señor, que sin tu consejo estamos perdidos, Señor. Y quiero orar de una manera muy especial por este concilio, por esta junta, que tiene que ver no con una persona o con dos, que tienen que ver con miles de personas. Pido tu consejo, Señor, para los que están al frente de esta ciudad, para el mayor, para todo su equipo. Pido tu sabiduría, Señor, para que cada decisión sea la decisión más acertada en beneficio de toda esta ciudad. Tú nos has puesto en un valle, Señor, bendecido. Y pedimos, Señor, que esa bendición continúe sobre nuestras vidas, empezando primero por el concilio de esta ciudad. Oro por sus personas, te pido que los bendigas. Oro por sus familias, oro por sus intereses, oro por su bienestar personal, Señor. Y te pido, Señor, que todo eso que tú has declarado bendición para esta ciudad, a través de ellos se lleve a cabo, Señor. A ti damos la gloria por lo que va a suceder en esta ciudad. A ti, Señor, encomendamos nuestras vidas, nuestras escuelas, las empresas, toda la ciudad la ponemos en tus manos, porque es el mejor lugar donde puede estar. Encomendamos tu consejo. Queremos una ciudad victoriosa, Señor, y necesitamos tu consejo. Bendecimos este lugar en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo, en el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Leal. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Oh, I'm sorry? Oh, could you be more specific? There should be on the senior citizens, which I believe is number 21, but it's under number 19, right? Okay, their staff report had a page that was misplaced. That staff report, it's the second page of item 19. That should go under the item 21. Thank you. We'll note that. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hurtado. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
All right, Mr. Kim seconds for discussion. Go ahead, Mr. Kim.
I believe the item 16, it shouldn't be there. That's,
Item 16?
yes. I'd like to remove the item 16, to approve the rest of them.
You would like to remove item 16?
Yes.
It's up to Ms. Hurtado, who made the motion, to reconsider an amendment on her motion to remove 16.
I'm not willing to remove that at this time.
She's not willing to change that at this time.
Guys, I pulled this. I believe this one is a childish item is here. We are making business and serious business. We are seriously to taking care of the citizens, and some kind of a political agenda is here. We should dedicate with the service for the community, not political war.
But unless she's willing to amend her motion, can we remove that item?
Okay, so then I pulled them as second.
Okay, so there's a first to approve the agenda. Mr. Kim pulls his second, so we need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Castro. All those in favor? Please respond by saying aye.
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 No.
Are you in favor?
No.
Okay. Motion carries 3-2 with Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro in opposition. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website, www.calexico.ca.gov, the Friday following the City Council meeting. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. We are celebrating a proclamation presented by myself to Mr. Daniel Gutierrez for his service on the Police Advisory Commission. If you could all turn to that first proclamation. I'd like all council members to have a hand in reading the proclamation. I'd like Mr. Castro to start with the first paragraph, Mr. Kim the second and third. I will do the fourth and fifth. Ms. Hurtado the sixth and the seventh, and Mr. Real the eighth and the ninth. So, Mr. Castro, if you'd be kind enough to start.
Sure. Honoring Daniel Gutierrez as a police commissioner. Whereas Daniel B. Gutierrez was born in Oxnard, California on August 12, 1931. His mother and father were citizens of Sinaloa, Mexico, and during the harvesting season, they will migrate to the United States and work in the fields.
Whereas in 1961, Mr. Gutierrez began working in agriculture as a farm laborer and field irrigator, and even though he took pride in working in the field, he had aspirations to work for the city of Calexico, whereas in 1970... Oh, sorry. Okay, whereas Daniel V. Gutierrez attended the kindergarten through third grade at Dual Elementary School in Calexico, California.
Whereas in 1971, Mr. Gutierrez had the pleasure of meeting City Manager Jim Black, who he immediately detected his great enthusiasm, humbleness, and hard-working ethics, and encouraged Mr. Gutierrez to apply for a City Parks Department position, to which he was hired without hesitation as a parks laborer. Whereas in 1973, Mr. Gutierrez purchased his first and only home in Calexico in what is known as the Kennedy Gardens, and he dedicated his life to his wife's 7 children, working and being a productive citizen.
Whereas while working for the city of Calexico, Mr. Gutierrez became friends with city managers, city council members, and city mayors who were also attracted to Mr. Gutierrez's advocacy and ideas for a better community. Whereas in 1989, he was appointed as police commissioner for the city of Calexico by Victor Legaspi, who at that time was mayor of the city council.
Whereas as a police commissioner, he volunteered his time to help provide a safe, productive, and crime-free environment for the city. He contributed his time in making a difference, worked with the community leaders, he fulfilled personal and professional endeavors, improved neighborhoods, provided feedback on career opportunities, fundraised for community events, and provided investigative and technical support in many different areas. Whereas in 1992, after 21 years of service to the City Parks Department, Mr. Gutierrez retired due to medical reason and continued his role as police commissioner, serving the community for 24 years.
Further, be it resolved that the mayor and city council members hereby express their gratitude and respect to Mr. Daniel B. Gutierrez for his service to the city of Calexico as police commissioner, and honors and recognizes him for his many contributions to the city, to the community. Today, in witness whereof, I hereunto fix my signature and official seal of the city of Calexico on the 7th day of April, 2015. Señor Gutiérrez.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we're going to place that on the wall of a new dedicated training room inside the police station, and beyond the wall will be dedicated to Mr. Gutierrez.
The citizens and neighbors of Mr. Gutierrez would also like to come forward and present him with some gifts at this time. Mr. Javier Gonzalez.
Hello, my name is Javier Gonzalez. I like to speak in Spanish, but I'll do it in English. I'll present myself here as president of the Kennedy Gardens Neighborhood Watch for the last 20 years. I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Daniel Gutierrez hand in hand. We went out to the neighborhoods. We talked to the guys. You can tell any police officer here, Kennedy Gardens crime reduced almost 90% in the last 15 years. What? Throughout our work, me and Mr. Gutierrez were out in our neighborhoods, walking the streets, walking the neighborhood, walking the alleys, talking to the kids. You know, we don't want the police here. We don't want the police to arrest you. Let's keep our neighborhood clean. Let's keep our neighborhood safe. And it did work. And prior to Mr. Gutierrez, like they say, behind a great man, there's a great woman and a great family, but a great organization. Kennedy Garden Neighborhood Watch has been working very hard. Before Mr. Gutierrez, there was my mentor, Mr. Garcia, also a Kennedy Gardens resident, who dedicated 16 years of service, and the police department is named after him, also from Kennedy Gardens. We are very proud, and the neighbors of Mr. Gutierrez would like to present him with the John F. Kennedy Award for service to community. Le entregamos un reloj de John F. Kennedy. Recuerden, ask not what your country can do for you, but you can do for your country. In our annual award, the John F. Kennedy
Please rise for the presentation of colors.
Color guard. Ready? Hope. Color guard. Left. Face. Color guard. Present colors.
Thank you.
Color guard. Ready? Mark.
Please be seated.
My name is Reina Gutierrez, and I am Daniel Gutierrez's daughter. I will just say a few words on behalf of my father, Daniel Gutierrez, who at this time is a little too overwhelmed to speak. So, Calexico's Police Department's mission states as follows. It is the mission of Calexico Police Department to provide service with honor and respect, to protect life, to enforce laws, and to perform our duties in partnership with the community, thereby increasing the quality of life for all of Calexico. I am proud to say that my father, Daniel Gutierrez, was a true supporter and advocate of this mission. During his time as police commissioner, I can remember the countless visits and phone calls my father would receive from chief of police, police officers, city mayors, city managers, city council members, and Calexico citizens. My father always made time to listen and help find a solution. Many of those visits and phone calls would happen during special family gatherings or events. I have to admit, at times, we would cringe, roll our eyes, and complain. Why? Because at that time, we didn't realize the importance of my father's role as a police commissioner. Thank you for recognizing our father today, because it helps us understand that not only did he care for the community, but he cared for his family, friends, and the community. Now I can appreciate and understand his involvement in increasing the public safety, organizing community awareness events, his relentless attendance to meetings on how to reduce crime, and most of all, the help he contributed to increasing the quality of life to Calexico's children and families. Without a doubt, my father embraced the true meaning of the Calexico Police Department's values: duty, loyalty, respect, honor, integrity, courage, and dedication. My father and family have been anxiously waiting for this day since 2013. We are very grateful that you have taken the time to publicly recognize him after 24 years as police commissioner for the city of Calexico. Without a doubt, his community service has been greatly appreciated by Calexico citizens. I am aware that Calexico has brought aboard a new city manager and an innovative chief of police. Without question, I know Calexico will move in the right direction. I will conclude with some personal thank yous. First of all, I want to personally thank my mother, Maria Esperanza Gutierrez, for her patience. Mom, if you ever had a doubt that this might have been a waste of time, of my father's time, please don't think that. Because through example, my father instilled many of his values to his children, in which we try to instill in your grandchildren. Also, a big thank you to everyone who made this recognition event possible. Please forgive me if I forget to mention some of your names. To Chief of Police Bostic, City Mayor Moreno, City Manager Warren, James Beaver, and all the City Council members, and of course, Gabby Garcia. Thank you for your support, and Dad, congratulations.
Mr. Mayor, I saved the best for last. In commemoration of this, Kennedy Gardens, next Saturday, April 18th, commemoration of Mr. Gutierrez and Arbor Day, we'll start our reforestation project at Kennedy Gardens. We will start by planting 50 trees donated by his friends. These are large trees. You're all invited. April 18th, 10 a.m., Kennedy Gardens Park, Arbor Day. And in commemoration of Mr. Gutierrez and the service that has been done, we're going to start reforesting Kennedy Gardens.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. And now we have a special treat by Mr. Beaver.
I want to recognize Mr. Gutierrez, without her, refinery, great guy, a great woman, and we thank her for her patience, participation. Many times she might have this dream to go around and in the world for having help at the beach. All that happened is we kids out there looking for a little tree that needs modern Calexico, and we're looking at cars, and we're standing up for times that this is truly a dedicated person, but I want to dedicate this song to his wife. I have to use this in order to sing. On behalf of my wife, thank you. This song is called Lady, are you my
have come into my life and made me whole. Forever, let me wait to see you each and every morning. Let me hear you whisper softly in my ear. In my eyes, I see no one else but you. There's no other love like our love. In you is, oh yes, I'll always want you near me. I waited for you for so long. Lady, your love's the only one I need. And beside is where I want to be. 'Cause your love, there's something I want you to know. You're my lady. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beaver,
You're welcome.
for doing that nice rendition of Kenny Rogers.
Thank you. I hope he doesn't get jealous.
Anybody else want to sing? Señor Gutiérrez, lo felicito por todos los años de servicio que has dado a la ciudad de Calexico y a sus hijos. Cherish your parents while they're still here. God bless all of you. Okay. Señor Gutiérrez, okay. I think that's fine. All right, our next item, number 2. Is a proclamation for National Library Week, which is April 2nd to the 18th. And I'd like each member to also join in the proclamation. And we'll start with Mr. Castro with the first one. Okay.
John.
Con la primera, you'll do number 2. Wait a minute, that's qué más?
Yeah, National Library,
That's where we're at.
number 2.
Number 2, yes. You'll start, hold on, Mr.
3.
Yeah, but that's still incorrect. They made a mistake.
They made a mistake?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll read the first one, Mr. Kim the second. I'll read the third, Mr. Hurtado the fourth, and Mr. Real the fifth.
Okay, National Library Week, April 12, 18, 2015. Whereas libraries create potential and possibilities within their communities, compose in schools, and
Whereas libraries level playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies, and
whereas libraries continuously grow and evolve in how they provide for the needs of every number of their communities, and
Whereas libraries and librarians open up a world of possibilities through innovative programming for all ages, makerspaces, job-seeking resources, adult literacy programming, and the power of reading. And
Whereas librarians are trained, tech-savvy professionals providing technology training and access to downloadable content like ebooks.
And whereas libraries support democracy and effect social change through their commitment to provide equitable access to information for all library users, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week, now therefore be it resolved that I, John Moreno, proclaim National Library Week, April 12th through the 18th, 2015. I encourage all residents to visit the Enrique Camarena Memorial Library this week to take advantage of the wonderful library resources available at your library. There are unlimited possibilities at your library. Ms. Towler? And the last proclamation, which is the Lions Eyes Across California Day. This time I will start 1 and 2, Ms. Hurtado 3 and 4, Mr. Real 5, Mr. Castro 6, and Mr. Kim 7. Lions Eyes Across California Day, March 28, 2015. Whereas Lions Club International began in 1917 with more than 1.35 million members, 46,000 clubs in 2010 countries, is the largest non-for-profit service organization in the world. And whereas Lions Club International mission is to empower their volunteers to serve their communities, meet humanitarian needs, encourage peace, and promote international understanding through Lions Clubs, and
whereas District 4L6 was chartered in 1962 and accounts for 59 Lions Clubs and 1,419 members in professional business and related fields who represent Lions Clubs located in San Diego and Imperial County. And whereas Lions Clubs International is to be the global leader in community and humanitarian service. And
Whereas Lions Club International Centennial Celebration was officially launched on July 8, 2014 at an international convention in Toronto, Canada, with the announcement of our Centennial Service Challenge to call all Lions around the world to serve 100 million people by June 30th of 2018. And
whereas Lions District 4L6 in San Diego and Imperial County, in celebration of Lions 100 Yards, held Lions Eyes Across California Day on March 28, 2015 at Walmart. 3 locations here in Imperial Valley. Walmart Calexico from 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 2500 Rockwood Avenue, Calexico, California. Walmart in El Centro from 10 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 2150 North Waterman Avenue in El Centro, California. Walmart Raleigh from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. 250 West Wildcat Drive, Raleigh, California. You next.
whereas Lions' motto is "We serve," and are best known for fighting blindness, feeding the hungry, and helping people adversely affected by natural disaster and care for the environment.
And now therefore be it resolved that the Calexico City Council does hereby proclaim March 28, 2015 to be Lion Eyes Across California Day in the city of Calexico. I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the city of Calexico on the 7th day of April 2015. Anyone here from the Lions Club? No? Joe Binzola used to be in the Lions Club? Yes, sir. Many years ago. Okay. Could you give this to their club president or someone? Is that okay? Ms. Garcia? Yes. Joe is an honorable man. Item number 4 on the agenda. It's a presentation by Ms. Natasha Woods for Mobile Now Regarding Park in Calexico.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council, and staff. I think Gabby's going to help me on the move forward, and I'll present from here. So basically, I was asked to do a quick presentation for you tonight on Mobile Now, what we are and how we operate, and then to answer any questions that you may have. Bear with us. There it is. Okay, you can move ahead to the next slide, please. So basically, we've been in operation for 14 years. We're a mobile app. Some of you may have seen our signs around. We allow you to pay for your parking through your mobile phone. Go ahead. We're in 14 other countries, and we're very pleased to be a part of Calexico. I've never seen karaoke at a council city meeting before. I'm not going to sing for you, but wow, how fun. Can't wait to come back and be a part of some of your other events.
You haven't seen anything yet.
You guys know how to party. Please. So basically, we provide complete solutions as it pertains to mobile payments. I know it sounds like flying cars, but everybody has a cell phone, or at least 99% of us do. So basically, like I said, we provide you the opportunity. So instead of going to the meter, you have the ability to download the free app and pay for your parking from your cell phone. And I'm going to walk you through the process in a minute here. So we customize the app for you. It says Park Calexico, and from the city's website, there's parkcalexico.com where you can find more information. We do more than just mobile apps. We do digital permits as well, as many other things, permitting and enforcement. But for purposes of tonight, we're going to talk mainly about the mobile app and how that pertains to you. So how it works. Here's the fun part. So this is a landing page that you would see after you download the app. It's available on iPhone and Android from your app store. Free to download, as I mentioned. It's basically a 1, 2, 3 registration. Go ahead. So you basically put in your phone number, you pick a 4-digit PIN, and then you can click that little box there, remember your PIN. I know we all have lots of passwords and lots of PIN numbers, so if you click that, it will remember it for you, which is nice. And then you enter in your email address, and you click next, and you are registered. Simple as that. Next, we're going to go to, okay, so how are you going to pay for your parking? Through the app. If you press that button at the top where it says scan your payment, a camera is going to open up on your cell phone, and you can scan your actual credit card, and it will populate the information required from your credit card, so you don't have to enter in all the numbers. You only need to enter in the expiration date and your security code, and you are registered. So this is basically a confirmation page of what your mobile wallet will look like. Go ahead. And then we're going to walk, okay, so now you have the app on your phone. You're going to use it. You park at a parking meter. And on the meters, you will see a little QR code. It's that funny-looking code that you see on everything from Coke cans to everything. You can either scan that, and it will populate this information, or you'll see the signage I'm going to show you later, and you can enter in that number, and you can populate that right there, and then you'll press Start. You'll have a roller bar like this, and basically this is the exact same way the meter is set up. So if you can park for 15 minutes, 2 hours, whatever that time limit is, there's a roller bar on your screen, and you get to pick the amount of time that you want to park. And then you press Select, and you'll get a confirmation screen that looks like this. It shows you where you parked, how much you're paying for parking, and then you press Confirm. So this is your last opportunity to back out. You can cancel at this point, or you can confirm. And then the next screen will show you, okay, now you're parked. So now enforcement knows that you have parked from 12:15 to 2:15. This is basically a digital receipt for you, showing you that you have parked. And then if you'll see at the bottom, say you went to a restaurant, you thought you were only going to be there for a half hour, but you ran into a friend. You're going to wind up being longer than you thought. So you want to extend. You don't have to run back to the meter. You just press that extend button at the bottom, and you can add some additional time without running back to the meter. And this is a confirmation screen showing, okay, I added 30 minutes. Everybody that signs up gets a personal web page like this. So you can log in, you can add a credit card, change your credit card, add a license plate number. Say you're on business and you can get reimbursed for your parking, you can print receipts from here. This is basically a personal portal that anybody can go in and get whatever information they need, or say, God forbid, they got a ticket by accident, all the information would be in here that they could support that they have paid for their parking. I'm going to show you some examples of the signage you may see around town. This is the QR code that I was talking about that you can scan. As you can see, we have it in English and in Spanish. This is what you would see on your parking meters. Again, some additional signage showing you can park and pay through the mobile app, again in English and in Spanish. Again, some additional signage. And this would be that number I was explaining to you that you would want to use to show what location that you're in, so enforcement knows that you've paid. We provide all social media marketing. These are just some of the tools that we use: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, everything and anything that's out there. We have a whole marketing team that we provide all the marketing and social media blasts to our customers and your customers. We also do digital permits that we talked about. That's something we're in talks with the city. I know people are always concerned, okay, my credit card is out there. Everybody's heard about the Home Depots and the Targets, and they're worried about putting their credit card out there. We are PCI compliant, and I'm going to show you, for all the techies out there that know what that means, how that information gets transported. We do not store the information on our side. We send it to a company called Credit Call that has all the top security clearance, PCI, DSS, data level 1, and we're constantly working further and further to secure that even more. So that's basically a workflow of how the credit card information gets transferred. Through the end, it gets broken down into a token. So it's not actually a credit card number, it gets encrypted. This is a certificate of our PCI compliance, just because I know that's a huge concern for everybody when they're throwing their credit card out there. And that's basically it. Any questions?
Any questions?
I can make a comment.
Okay, please.
I use mobile now every day,
Thank you.
and I love it. I really do love it.
Thank you.
And I do suggest that everybody try to use it. It's very easy to use, especially when I go up to the meter and I use the scanning feature. It's great because it just picks it up by itself.
Right.
And so it just takes me a few seconds to get it done. And I think that the most important thing that helps me when I'm in my office and I'm working is that I get a reminder.
Right.
And that reminder reminds me that it's going to be expiring so that I can either go and, through my phone, sitting at my desk, add more time to it, or get up and move my vehicle.
Right, that's one thing I didn't mention as I was running through what she's talking about is you'll get a text reminder before your meter expires, telling you that it's about to expire. So it gives you that opportunity to either run out, move your car, or to add time to the meter. So we're giving you every opportunity not to get a ticket.
Love it. I really do.
Thank you.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you.
Maybe, oh, she left already. I wanted to ask, she said something about digital payments,
Yeah,
She's gone.
go ahead. I don't know, you may want to ask her?
but she's busy. City Manager Warren, she mentioned something about digital payments. Digital permits. Can you tell us about that?
Basically, digital permits is where we allow the customer to go online and fill out a permit, relieving your staff from having people to come into the office and get their permits.
That's the monthly?
It's, as we implement technology in the city, this is one of the areas we're working on right now, along with several other areas.
Those are the parking, the specialized parking areas in downtown?
Correct.
Okay, the next, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said thank you.
It can also do other kinds of permits, too,
Okay.
this particular technology. So we look forward to implementing either this particular technology with this company or a similar technology, so that people, you don't even have to come to City Hall anymore.
Okay.
You'll just be able to get on your smartphone or your computer, and as much as we'd like to see you all, you don't have to come down.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
So basically, I keep getting the question, is it a 2-hour limit? And yes, we build the app to mirror what the city ordinance is. If they decide to extend that time, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, we basically mirror that within the app. So if it's a 2-hour limit, you have to move your car within 2 hours. If at some point they decide to change that, we will match it within the app, but the app is compliant with whatever ordinance is.
No, you don't have to move it. You can do an extension. And by the way, we've interfaced this technology with the parking enforcement personnel that we have, so that when they pull up to a parked car, they can tell with the handheld device that they have that particular car has paid for the parking online. So there's not a problem with somebody who's paid online getting a ticket, because we have interfaced the technology with our parking people.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and I left cards with Mr. Quinn, so if anybody has questions after I leave tonight, please feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to answer any more questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Woods. We have number 5, a report by the Economic Development Commission regarding Agrobaja Exposition and Imperial Irrigation District Renewable Energy Summit marketing activities.
Good evening, Your Honor, distinguished members of the City Council, and the public. I'll just lean over to the side here. I just want to say, in reference to our Economic Commission, it's alive and well. I'm happy to say we have the best, and I say that without any fear of contradiction, the best Economic Commission in Imperial Valley. Now, we ask ourselves, what have we done? We started in January with hardly anything. Now, as it stands right now, we have been involved with Agrobaja, we have been involved with the Supply Expo, and we have been involved with the Energy Summit. and you ask yourself, what benefits do I do for the city? What's it been doing for the city is we're getting contacts. People are looking to locate their businesses, industry, and move the city forward. And you ask yourself, is that good for the city? Of course it's good for the city. And as part of the Economic Commission, and I want to say this is a team effort. We have a person that's dedicated to economic development, and she's full-time, Julia. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that lady is working, and she's working hard. And then we have our team members that are part of the commission. Each and every one of them is dedicated to moving the city forward. Now, you ask yourself, what's the plans for the city? One of the things that we're looking to do is put together a newsletter that will go out to the city. Because I believe this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to grow, if you're going to move forward, you better be informed. Education is the key. Education is the power. And the power is to have that. Now, one of the things that I have heard a lot about, and there's rumors going on, and you know how rumors go, everybody has one. And we're looking and we're working with San Diego State to explore a dynamic and forceful idea that's going to move Calexico forward. And eventually Calexico, I believe this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the major city in Calexico.
In the valley? You mean in the valley?
In the valley, should say. I stand corrected. In the valley. We're looking to explore the idea, and I use the word explore. I don't want this rumor to get out saying that we're doing this or whatever. To explore the idea of having dormitories. Now you ask yourself, what benefit is that going to do for Calexico? You look at any city that has dormitories, has a university in the city, and what it does economically. And one of the things that I'm saying, we have a lot of challenges here in Calexico. And one of the big challenges, I'm sure everybody knows about it, is the banking system. The banking system is really being hard pressed because the federal government says they're trying to make sure everything is in line. Now you say, what benefit does exploring the dormitories? What's that's going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Think about it. And I want you to do your research. I want you to look online and see what cities that have had a university town, dormitories, and look what it does with the economy. Now, this is something I'm proud to say we're exploring, and the Economic Commission is doing this for the city of Calexico. No personal interest. I want Calexico to be the best. I love my city. I do everything to make it the best, and we are the best. And I like that word, only in Calexico. Only in Calexico you're going to have the very best. We stand for the best, and that's what we stand for. And that terminates my report, and I'm proud to be part of Calexico. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Item number 6 is the presentation by the Calexico Police Officers Association.
Mr. Mayor, Sean Acuna, the president of the association, has had back surgery and will be back at the next meeting. And I apologize, it was my mistake for not letting the council know that they wouldn't be here for about 2 weeks. But I did want to take this opportunity at the last meeting. Mr. Kim was concerned about his ability to access to the police department. So I've had 24/7 access cards available for all council members. You can come into the police department anytime you want. After all, it's yours. And you are city officials, so I'll give these to the city clerk, and each of you will have access card to the station. You can get in anytime you want, talk to police officers anytime you want. Feel free to come in. No handcuff keys. I can't help you with that. So thank you very much. The POA will come to the next meeting. Ruben Lopez is standing in the back. He's one of the newly elected board members. And the rest of the team, they want to come together to do the presentation, so thank you.
Looking forward to that, Chief. Thank you, Officer Lopez. And I know Mr. Horton was speaking on San Diego State, go Aztecs, but last night it was go Duke. But anyway, Javier Gonzalez had a presentation up at the main campus on a project that you did about the New River. Would you like to share some of the experience? I know this is not on the agenda, but this is part of the presentation. And I think people need to know what this fine young man is doing.
Well, thank you very much. After all, I'm a city commissioner, a finance commissioner, and recently resigned from the economic commission, and that's another thing. My name is Javier Gonzalez. I'm a Calexico resident, lifelong resident. I'm a graduate student at San Diego State University. I see our dean is here, our dean and our associate dean. What I told the mayor is that during this presentation, it was the 8th annual San Diego State University Research Symposium. At a class at San Diego State, we had to present a research. What more than the New River? For the last year, myself, my partner, and the whole class has been researching the river. At San Diego, there were 478 research presentations from San Diego State students. There were presentations about Hitler, the weather, the environment, the ocean, just about everything. Our team, our project, our research was, the New River was concentrated on the wetlands project. And our research name was Bringing Public Good Through the Collaboration of Government and Non-Government Agencies. Why this title? The New River, as you know, it's a problem, but there are 3 wetlands that were built in 2000. Those 3 wetlands do work. There's only 3. We need 32 to actually get water to the Salton Sea clean. But these wetlands were built with a collaboration of government and non-government agencies. One group, the Desert Wildlife Incorporation, saw that nothing was going to get done because the New River, over 20 agencies have jurisdiction over the river. You're talking about national, local, state, international. So this group of citizens got together and brought everybody together. So I just want to be brief. Our presentation, out of 478, our research was one of the top 5. Our research presentation from San Diego State University Imperial Valley campus. They also award for best poster. We also brought the Provost Award for best poster. Why are we glad? Because I know you're all worried about the New River. The New River is part of our life for the last 30, 40 years. For our presentation, will now go before the California State University Research Symposium on May 1. We are happy that the campus won, we are happy that Calexico won, and we are happy that the New River will move forward and will be presented to the state. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. And seeing that we're on the subject of San Diego State, our little college town here on the border, Dean Pearson, you have an announcement to make, I believe the Taste of the Valley?
We all have tickets. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to invite all of you to join us this Friday, just a few days away, for El Sabor del Valle, our annual fundraiser, Taste of the Valley. As many of you know, this has been spearheaded not only by our staff, but also by my sweet Spanish wife, Paloma, who has probably visited at least 2/3 of you and gotten ticket sales all the way. But let me tell you a little bit about this marvelous event. This event, our major fundraiser for the year, will have 24 restaurants, 24 from across the valley, from Brawley, from Westmoreland, from Holtville, everywhere, lots from Calexico as well. As I said, Noche de Flamenco is the theme. Juan de Dios and flamenco dancers will be there for entertainment. We will have a 50-50 raffle. We'll have several smaller raffles. We'll have 3 live auctions. A night of great fun. The difference between our food tasting and some of the other ones, sometimes you'll walk in and there'll be a ticket and you have three little tabs you can pull off and you can only go to the 3 you want. For us, damas y caballeros, es carta blanca. You can go anywhere you want, as many restaurants as you wish in the evening. A night of fun, entertainment, music, under the stars. We hope to see you there. Tickets, if people around here are selling them. If not, please come to the administration building right next door. They are $35 a piece. Before the event, if you show up at the gate, it's $40. Sounds like a lot. There'll be a lot of food, a lot of fun. All of the proceeds go for student scholarships. So please join us for a night under the stars. Thank you very much. I hope to see you at Taste of the Valley.
Thank you, Dean Pearson. Sounds like a great event. I won't be having lunch that day. Public comments and public appearances. Note not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter's jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. And please always direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I have the first one we have, and Mr. Kim will get the timer ready for 3 minutes. Thank you. We have Mr. Jason Jung. You may begin, sir.
Okay. I'm here to address a couple of issues with the city. One, I was a victim of harassment, extortion, conspiracy to commit a crime by city officials. Who am I speaking about? Mr. Nick Servine and John Quinn. I've met with them in the past. Mr. Quinn has laughed in my face on numerous occasions, making rude remarks. You've been watching too much TV. What attorneys? You don't know what harassment is. Why do I say harassment? They shut down my water in the building that I manage down here. Why? Because they decided to charge me $700 for water. Under what basis? They quoted city ordinance. I said, what city ordinance? Show it to me. Liliana Reyes gave me a piece of paper that didn't show that. Then I met with Mr. Quinn again and Mr. Servine, and finally they gave me a copy of the ordinance. When they gave me a copy of the ordinance, nowhere does it state that they could charge me the water the way they were. They shut down the water. One day I called Mr. Quinn and told him, hey, there hasn't been any water in the building for 24 hours. It's a health and safety issue. Imagine walking into a toilet full of urine or defecation in there. I don't want to walk in and see that. Nobody wants to see that. And I asked Mr. Quinn, what am I supposed to do? Can you turn on the water? He tells me, tell the tenants to wait. That's not right. That's not something a public official should say. He should say, hey, let me look into it. Let me see how I can get the water turned on. You want to come down and fix this? Let's do this. But why give me the runaround? Where did they get the $500? City manager resolved it, and now I'm paying $87 from $780 some odd dollars? What's going on? Who's making these rules? Is CoCLX just flying by the seam of their pants? Everybody does whatever they want? Right now, there's businesses that are closing down. These merchants are dying because they don't have enough revenues. Yet, what does the city do? With all their wisdom, they want to come and start charging all these people for fees, for this, for that, because they want to put a flag in front of their business in order to try to promote a little bit of business, a sale, to be able to pay your fees, to be able to support this community. But yet, what does the city do? They come over. Hey, if you don't pay either $70 or $40 a month for having a flag outside your business, we're going to fine you? Where's it going? Where are you guys going to stop? Where are you guys going to draw the line? I mean, you know, I want to get on the agenda, and I will. And I'll bring the merchants, because a couple of them came and left because of all the stuff that happened. But I will unite all the merchants and come back down here and raise whatever it is I'm going to raise. Chief, I'm not going to act all crazy and whatever it is. I'm civil. And I'm passionate about what I'm saying, Chief. You know, I don't know what to tell you guys. You know, you guys are killing your own downtown. You guys are killing your own businesses. What's going on? I mean, you have people like, my time's up.
Thank you, Mr. Jung. Mr. Russell, Lucio Russell? No? Okay. Eduardo Gonzalez.
I donate my time to Mr. Jason Black.
We don't donate time. You take your own time. I'm sorry, that's it. You speak or you don't speak.
In other meetings, they donate the time.
Right, but that was a different mayorship. I'm not allowing that. No.
Which is fine. Let it go. Because you know what, Chief? If I may,
Hold on, Mr. Jung, you had your 3 minutes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, I'm going to go over and file a police report for fraud.
Mr. Gonzalez, you sure you don't want to speak?
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you. We have Ms. Maribel Padilla on public comments, consent agenda. She starts.
You might have to hold this up. So it doesn't fall. On the top shelf. On the top. On the top shelf. Like this. Yes, I would like to say something about the last meeting that I was here. And during the consent agenda, Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro usually pull items. And in the recess, I told them that they should go to the briefings, that they should attend so they would know what's going on and not waste our time, because that's what they're doing. Mr. Kim is always worried. He was worried about some vehicle or something that had to be paid. It was like $36,000. I want to show you this. I got it from the state controller's office. This is what you council people get paid. You get paid $8,300 a year. For Mr. Castro, for 2 terms, that's 8 years, that's $66,400. For Kim, for 1 term, will be $33,200. And Mr. Kim said he didn't attend briefings because he's afraid for his life. I think for $8,300 a year, he can afford his own bodyguard. He can go to these meetings, okay? You also get benefits on that. Castro 2 terms, $120,000. Kim, $60,000. Look at the combined total. For these 2 people, for these 2 councilmen who do not attend briefings, which is part of your job, which is part of the taxpayer money that's being paid to you to do your job. For the terms, it's $280,752. You want to talk about waste, Mr. Kim? Your payroll, Mr. Castro's payroll, is a waste. You can't even attend briefings, and you have all these people waiting here because you want to pull 4 items out of 6, because you're afraid. Get yourself a bodyguard, okay? All you do, we pay you $280,000 to vote no on any transit issue that comes, the Gran Plaza, and the pool. This is what the taxpayers are paying you, $280,752. That is the biggest waste we have in the city. I pay you, these people pay you to do a job. So guess what? Man up, Mr. Kim. Go to these meetings. I can assure you, staff is not going to assault you. So that is not an excuse. Castro didn't even have an excuse. He just doesn't show up. For this amount of money that we are paying both of you, you need to be at these meetings. You need to understand the issues. And you need to think of CoCLX as a whole, not my transit company. I'm going to vote no on it and any others. Not for $280,000 that we're paying you. That is a waste of money. That unit that you had an issue on for $36,000, let me tell you, we're going to get more out of that unit than what we're paying you, Mr. Kim. And you can smile all you want. So get to your briefings, do your job.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. Mr. Jose Vindiola, and after Mr. Vindiola, Mr. Buchanan.
Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Jose Santos Vindiola, proud to be the president of the Calexico Desert Valley Bandits. I'm here this evening on behalf of my organization to thank the City of Calexico for being our core sponsor of our annual Easter egg hunt. If you look up there against the wall, that's a banner we had made up, and it reads very nicely, Calexico Desert Valley Bandits and the City of Calexico. Galicia, that is my city, your city. Those are the kids that are out there enjoying it in behalf of the City of Calexico. Richard, I salute you personally. I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vindiola. After Mr. Joe Buchanan, we have Jose Aguilera, and then Ricardo Marin.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, Attorney, and public. Just briefly as, 992 Corrales, Calexico, Joe Buchanan. I don't know, it's sad that to come to the meeting and we have all this celebration, stuff like that, and suddenly, boom, we throw our sadness. It's sad, so maybe we could correct that in the future because it's a no-no. We should be more of a yes, we can attitude, yes, 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 give service to the public, to the merchants, citizens, stuff like that. Every time they call for a complaint, stuff like that, let's try to do it as fast as we can. We need to have this yes attitude, you know. I know everybody is trying to do a good job one way or the other. Sometimes we fail, we need guidance or whatever it is, but we need to get the help and fix the problem. But the number one thing that really bothers me, I see a lot of people, old people, veterans people, that they used to be here in the Calexico, and sometimes we forget about those people. Calexico was made a long time ago. Some people are not here no more. Some people are still here. Some people are starting their career or their lives or whatever. We need to give better service. Everybody, I know you wake up in the morning and just like the racetrack says, start your engine. And the number one an employee asks is job security. And the number two is pay, obvious, but number one pretty much is job security. That's what we're looking for. And once you establish that, then you can move on to the other stuff. But like I said, it's service that we need to give to the community. It is downtown, everywhere. If you live here in Calexico or if you're coming from the outside, stuff like that, let's make them welcome you. All these great events that people put, the volunteers, a lot of people do a lot of volunteer work, stuff like that. We don't notice. We need to start recognizing people. We need to give Employee of the Month, Employee of the Year, and department, not only one hero, because there's a bunch of heroes here. Yeah, you had a downfall, but wake up again and regroup again and let's do it again. That's part of living life. But the thing is that we need to have more yes, we can attitude. Don't wait 2, 3 weeks or 6 months, one month. People from the outside, a lot of stuff in the graffiti, a lot of power plants, they're tagged, a lot of stuff. Can we talk to those people that own that stuff, at least so they could bring us a paint or something so we could save some money and we'll do the work. We don't mind. Job is job. I don't care where. But let's try to get those people, see if they could bring the merchandise or they do the repairs or whatever it is. But like I said, hopefully when we have all these great events, everybody's laughing, stuff like that, and then suddenly somebody comes up or whatever and they bring it to a negative, it's no good. It's not good for the morale. So we could have all these every time we have meetings. So the bottom line here is, yes, we can. More positive attitude, and that's it. And roll on. Calexico number one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. Jose Aguilera? Left. Ricardo Marin? Okay. Okay, thank you. Ms. Alma Castro? Thank you. Okay. City Council comments and reports of meetings attended. Moving right along, is there anyone who would like to go first? Mr. Real, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny Romo, you were here, right? I had you, okay, yeah, you were here, and then you're on number 19. Both, okay. Sorry, Mr. Romo. You can reset the timer.
Good evening, members of the City Council, council members, councilwoman, city manager, city clerk, members of the assembly. I changed my wording. I don't have much to say. You know, speaking of awards, that was a wonderful award. And speaking of awards, I started my social work in 1966. Before that, I was a rock and roller since 1958, but in 66, I became a social worker, and we canvassed the streets, identifying the needs and necessities, services for services. This was done during the Valley-wide. I believe Mr. Santillana, he always comes after, a little bit after me. He was part of the group. He came in 69 or 70. This was the Office of Economic Opportunity Commission. So I've been getting trained in many areas. Now, I got trained by the Department of HUD starting in 1990, and I have 12 certificates of continuous training and completed certificates. The point that I'm trying to get, which because I said I don't have much to say, the point is that I read that you're going to appoint one member. I have a lot of certificates, but it's in your hands now. I thought it was already there was already an appointment, Mr. Mayor. That's the reason I was here, and hopefully, I just want to convey this to the council members, city officials, as well as law enforcement officers, because I see them there. They're doing a great job. Recently, they stole $300 worth of things out of my car when I was in church, and that came on down from the donut shop on 3rd Street. So there's crime all over. So I really like to thank the police officers and the police department. The point that I'm trying to do is that I don't know what currently or what projects the Housing Authority has doing right now, but I am aware there's a lot of concerns by the residents that services are not being provided properly. There's a lot of concerns inside. There's a lot of policies that are not being carried forward. I'm not here to undermine anyone. I'm just a voice. And I know what needs to be done. So my qualification supersedes anyone's because I've had too many seminars and trainings, and that's the reason they come to me. That's it, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Romo. Okay, Mr. Real, please reset the timer for 3 minutes, Mr. Kim.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody had a great Easter vacation or weekend. I want to just, hopefully I can get everything done in 3 minutes. I'm going to have to be quick. We didn't have a meeting 2 weeks ago, so I have a lot to talk about. Want to remind everybody about the car show on the 11th of April this week. Hope everybody can attend. It's something that's going to bring people to downtown. We know downtown needs some help, so I hope everybody can attend. I want to thank everybody for coming to the meeting. It's a packed house, and I think that's important. I think that this is the way it should be every night. I wish every city council meeting was as full as this one. Mr. Gutierrez is gone, but I was hoping to thank him publicly here for his 24 years of service as a police commissioner. And I want to talk a little bit about public service. I think here in Calexico, I've been in office 4 months and 5 days, to be exact. And public service here is something that is so important. I think the citizens of this city pick up a lot of the slack that unfortunately our city government lacks, and that's very important. But at the same time, politics are very strong. I don't think I was prepared for the level of politics that were coming at me as soon as I got elected. I've had people come up to me, and I think we need to understand that this room is filled with a lot of people who love this city to the bone. I mean, Bulldogs are Bulldogs their whole life, and I think that's great. But we need to understand that when you vote for somebody to be up here in this dais, which is not an easy job, I have to say. So I respect all my council members who have been here for years. But you don't vote for people to be up here to do what you want them to do always. We have to understand that we agree to disagree sometimes, but ultimately, we're up here to make a decision, and it's hard sometimes to express to the people why we make a certain decision, especially when we have confidential information that the public doesn't. And so that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Real. Anyone else? Go ahead, Ms. Hurtado, if you wanted to go.
I think that publicly, I think it's very important, John, to recognize and publicly provide a condolence to you and to the Moreno family for the loss of your father, Mr. Frank Moreno. I know that he represents a lot of great memories for the city of Calexico as a pioneer, a very respected family, super shopping, Apple Market, all that. And we're with you, and we're here in support of you and your family. So I'd like to start with that and thank him and your family for everything they've done for the city of Calexico.
Thank you.
I'd like to also thank and recognize Mr. Gutierrez, who was recognized today, Christopher Gomez Wong, who was recognized this week by Senator Ben Hueso for his initiating farmers market, and today the class of '82 was received recognition by our county officials for all of their work for our community. So it's true, Mr. Buchanan, sí se puede. When people really love their city, take action. It's not that hard. It's just turning off the TV, not watching the novela, and getting to work. So thank you for everybody for doing that. We had our strategic planning on the 14th of March. It was a good meeting. It was a long day. We do have common goals as a council, and they have been identified. And we will have a report soon to show the results of that strategic planning so that our staff can start having a better focus as far as what the goals and the objectives are of this council. We have had a lot of different meetings lately with regard to this banking issue. Seems to be a federal problem, an anti-money laundering, Securities Act issues. And yes, we are hard pressed for solutions, but there may not be any because it is out of our hands. So on the other side of all of that, those difficulties is a lot of hard work by our Economic Development Commission to be able to make the contacts and make the new relationships that need to be made and reestablished, being that we will be having our new port of entry here very soon. We're going to be having our groundbreaking in August. So we need something to look forward to, and that is something to look forward to. Just like the area of in Tijuana and San Isidro, they cut down their waiting time from 5 hours to approximately 45 minutes. So we're looking forward to that. We're still going to work really hard to be able to balance out the difficulties of what the city is going through, but at the same time, never giving up. I'd also like to make a mention to the community that our next door neighbor, Mexicali, is right at this point. The Soles basketball team is playing their finals game, very important game, so good luck to them. Let's see. I think that the last thing I'd like to mention is also to the District Attorney's Office for the hard work. I know they just issued a letter with regard to some of the issues that we've had here on the council. It's been a really difficult couple of years, and there's a lot of image concerns that this council has, and a lot of what the DA found is issues that we need to recognize as a council and to work on so that we can be better governing our city. And some of the issues we have on our agenda today has a lot to do with that too. So very, very important to understand that it's not an easy time, but I believe that this council is all focused on improving things. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurtado. Mr. Kim or Mr. Castro?
Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm glad a lot of people attended this meeting. And I concur with Mr. Mandy. I wish more community members involved in this democratic process. If full every meeting, we wouldn't see anything sludges around in the cities. We got so much sludges, and we cannot take care of it. And city failing to serve the community. Instead of serving the community members, they are harassing the community members and try to squeeze from the businessmen to pick up the money to raise somebody's salaries. This is city that we do. Unfortunately, I only have one vote. Rest of the 4 council members has to think about it. What is our goal to serving the community? And I try to serve the community. I've been harassed by the city staff. If keep on going, it's not going to be anything for me and for the good for the cities. We're going to have a big lawsuit. And I was attending Mr. Moreno's father, Frank Moreno's funeral. I had the chance to meet him 1989 through the Chamber of Commerce. He was a very nice man, and I've been heard a lot of good things about him. He's a very nice man. Anytime we see him, we say hi. We're going to miss him. I wish that Mr. Moreno followed his father's trail to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Mr. Castro?
Yes, I want to concur with Mr. Kim related to that we need to let citizens to participate on the issues with the city. There is an issue very important when the citizen trying to talk about any issue in the city of Calexico. We set the time for 3 minutes. I don't think that is right. I mean, because if the citizen trying to complain or talk about one issue, and we, the council, that we are not gonna let them talk, that's something that is not democracy. That is not transparency. Like, and I'm talking about the citizen, the people. In our case, me as a council, I'm trying to make some points related to this city, because we receive so many complaints, so many problems in this city, and in 3 minutes, I mean, 3 minutes is not enough. I mean, to talk about the issue of the citizens, to talk about the issue of Calexico, I mean, 3 minutes, you know what? That's something against transparency, against democracy. And that's something that I concern. And I know here in these areas right now, people are really concerned, but there is people don't concern about that. And we need to focus on the issues. We need to let the people speak. We need to let the council expose the problem with the city. Because if not, what is the purpose of this meeting? What is the purpose of the public meeting? The public meetings is to let the people speak. Let the people ask questions. I know there's so many people disappointed with Castro, but I'm not going to change. I'm here. I decide to run. I get elected 2 times, and I'm going to continue like that. I'm going to fight for the people. And I don't care. I know there's a lot of people complaining about me, but guess what? I'm representing the city of Calexico. I'm a city council, and I'm trying to be fairness and trying to be generous with the people. I've been for 6 months as a mayor. I give the people the opportunity to talk, because that is democracy, that is transparency. And I know every of my colleagues.
Your 3 minutes are up, Mr. Castro.
You see, Mayor, again, that's transparency. That's democracy.
And I believe we got your point. Thank you very much. If the council would look to examine this and want to change it, then it would be a majority vote to increase the minutes. And if everyone were to get more minutes, it'd be a longer meeting. And as I say in Spanish, and I've said it before, para el buen entendedor, pocas palabras. Here, here, here.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, well, it's my 3 minutes. Are you going to time me?
Oh, you're talking?
Yes. Okay. Take off 20 seconds. I'm not going to use all 3 minutes, Mr. Kim. Just want to remind everyone that we have a State of the City address, our annual State of the City address, which is April 16th, 2015, on a Thursday at William Moreno Junior High School, named after a former Mayor Moreno, a former Councilman Moreno, a former Pioneer Moreno. So I hope that we are there to celebrate not only the state of the city, but also recreation that has gone on through Calexico throughout the years. It'll be the 107th City of Calexico anniversary. So we want to wish the City of Calexico a happy birthday at that time. And we hope it'll be a good event. It's been a very difficult 3 weeks for me. I haven't been myself lately with all that's been going on. I want to thank the community for the support, for the messages, for everything that they've done in this difficult time, as the death of my father resulted on March 17th, a year and a month right after my mother passed away. It is not an easy time for our family. And I hope that you as parents or your parents that are here live a long life and that you get to enjoy them and spend those special moments. I'd like to thank the 4 council members that are here for their support during that time. Mr. Kim, you said some nice words. Ms. Hurtado and Mr. Real, also very nice words and nice messages. My father was born in Calexico in 1928. We have been here close to 90 years, if not 91. And I'm proud of this community. And I hope that in the next 90 years or so that we move forward. He was a businessman. He sold groceries for 57 years in downtown Calexico, establishing relationships with families, providing goodwill to those who couldn't pay a grocery tab. donating to service organizations week in and week out. And I'm proud of my folks, my parents and their parents who came from Moctezuma, Sonora, because we're all from the same area. We all come from Mexico, a lot of us do. And we all have to work together. And whether it's the disenfranchisement that we have now, we got to take a step back and say, you know what's best for the city? I respect you. And that's what I learned from my father. Learn to respect people. That's why I went into education. Because business is tough. Education is tough. But he taught me one thing, and that is to respect others. And even though Mr. Castro, Mr. Kim, and we have disagreements, I respect them as individuals. I hold nothing personal against these gentlemen. I applaud them for running and getting elected. It's just a little tweaking on working together that needs to happen. And I thank you very much, City of Calexico, for your support that you have shown me in this difficult time of my life as mayor. Thank you.
You still have 58 seconds.
I'm sorry. You didn't turn the timer on, Mr. Kim. Okay. I know it wasn't 3 minutes, but moving on to the consent calendar, all matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City of Calexico, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. I'd like to pull item 12, and if any other item would like to be pulled for a separate discussion, please comment now.
I would like to pull item 10 and 11.
10 and 11?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
I'd like to pull the 15.
On 15. Mr. Real, would you like to make a motion?
Motion to approve 7 through 9 and 13 and 14 and 11. Actually, no, 7, 8, 9, 13 and 14.
Okay. There is a motion to approve the other items.
So moved, sir.
Moved by Real, seconded by Hurtado.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, please vote, and we'll use the voting board. And the motion carries 5-0 unanimously.